What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Civilization 5 Iberia AI only battle. I hope you enjoyed episode 1. It was quite fast paced. We're going to slow it down a bit today because we will have a look at the info addicts, because we'll be 150 turns in on a regular sort of game pace. We'll look at the religions as well in a lot of depth, because there's only 7 civs, so it's not quite the usual, melee of civs. I think we're going to see quite a good game here. We'll be able to run it for quite a while. It's not particularly a huge map. A very huge chunk of it's also locked off, so should be absolutely fine from that perspective. The World's Congress was just founded, which could have some interesting ramifications. We'll see how they end up voting. Spain with another settler here. They're really trying to cut off the Artesians down here. We'll see what happens. We'll see. And there we go. The Artesians themselves had a settler that I somehow missed. Probably hidden behind the flag, but there we go. They had another city here, which could give them control. I mean, it's kind of useful. Aragon's maybe the only civ on this side that's really going to have any influence, but anyway, it still could be useful. Of course, Spain and Leon, the only non-coastal civs at the moment, although Spain is heading downwards, so maybe they'll get there at the end, as the Swaby add some more cities as well. And yeah, we'll see where the Spanish settler goes. It was probably heading here, so we'll probably now have to re-choose, but there's some good spots over here you could grab. As Leon completes the Forbidden Palace Wonder, and Spain and Leon peace out again. And again, Leon survives, although they give up this city here, which kind of is going to force Swabia. Is it Swaby or Swabia? It's Swaby. Okay, so it's the Swabian people. But yeah, it's going to force Swaby through this narrower gap and into this city with a lake in front of it, so they may struggle a bit with that. Could be quite difficult. And as we can see, Asturias is continuing to just revel in the chaos to their south and settle as many cities as they can in the north. And you never know, maybe the comeback, maybe it is doable, as Aragon grab another city, moving a bit more inwards. They also grabbed most of the islands, so they are looking good. But they've been pretty peaceful so far, although there's a lot of units gathered here now. It could be bad news for this city in particular, but we'll see if they plan anything. They've been pretty happy being isolated. We're going to see the info addicts, see if have they already won? Who knows, maybe they're just too big. We'll find out. Like I said, it was annoying. A lot of the mods just don't load like they used to. Some of them, I think 2 were turned on and just never showed up, so that's a problem. So you can't really win. But either way, we will get to 150 and then have a little look at what's going on. Although I say that, Leon's turn is now taking a long time, which is always worrying, but they get through it. It's all good. Probably try and negotiate a peace deal or something. Did that other Spanish settler pick a spot? Not yet, it's still on the move, as Spain now declares war on the Artesians, and that could be pretty big actually, as Aragon adds another city up here towards the French mountains. And yep, everyone's freed now. No one's up there, so that's all good. Yeah, this should go pretty well for Spain, just by eye. Looks like this should be a success, but the Artesians went first there, so they got a bit of a good defense up. But here we go, Spain's turn. Yeah, no, straight away inflicted some damage. Looks like they'll grab this city fairly soon. Another big turn ahead for them. Ooh. Makes us wait, of course it does. Oh, maybe next turn. A lot more trebuchets in range next turn, but that will be a good pickup for Spain, who have now put 2 settlers down, including Asturias, which is of course the name of this civ in the north. But there we go. I'm guessing these are all villages then within like the Asturias region, and obviously that's hence why it's more micro level. Spain does grab that city. World's busiest people will ignore that because it's a bit of a weird average that benefits. If you have one city, you'll be like top of the list. Himeji Castle is completed by Swaby, and here we go then. Info addicts, yeah, Aragon is doing pretty good on score. Here we go. Population, Aragon leading the way with 10 million, then Portugal at 9.7, and Spain at a further 9. 7.5 for Leon, Swaby at 5.8, 5.5 for the Artesians, and 3.8 for Asturias. So what is that overall? That's 10, He's roughly 40 million for the whole of Iberia. Maybe, probably a little bit more because I was just using the big numbers at the front. Crop yield, Aragon, yep, definitely the biggest. They are the largest civs, so that would make sense. Then Spain, Suebi as well. Then Leon, Portugal, Tartessos, Asturias. Yeah, I don't know where this Portugal went. They just never showed up. Production, Aragon leads the way. Again, well ahead of Spain. Then Suebi, Leon, Tartessos, Asturias, and Portugal. Economy, again, Aragon, Tartessos, Portugal, Suebi, Spain, Leon, Asturias. Land, yes, although the sea does help Aragon, don't forget. Sea tiles count more as well. Aragon, Suebi, Spain, Portugal, Tartessos, Leon, and Asturias. Military is Suebi, then Aragon, Spain, Portugal, Asturias, Leon, Tartessos, and then me. Social policies, Aragon is 5 ahead. Okay, that's not normal. Suebi, I don't know if that's the unique ability, but Suebi 12, Asturias and Portugal on 12, Leon, Tartessos and Spain. Suebi and Spain on negative happiness, and some others a bit close. Technology, Spain is on 36, 35 for Portugal and Aragon, 34 for Suebi, 33 for Tartessos, 33 for Leon, and 31 for Asturias. Cities, Aragon currently leads the way with 16, but not too far ahead. Suebi have 14 and Spain have 13. Then Tartessos and Asturias now both have 7, which is actually more than Leon and Portugal. Science output, Aragon leads ahead of Spain. Then it is Suebi, Portugal, Leon, Tartessos and Asturias. Culture is again Aragon ahead of Suebi, Tartessos, Spain, Portugal, Asturias and Leon. Wonders, Asturias with 6 ahead of Portugal and Aragon on 4. 3 for Suebi and Tartessos, 2 for Spain and Leon. Treasury, not so important. Faith, we don't know to look at. Great works, 4 for Suebi, 3 for Aragon and Asturias, 2 for Leon, 2 for Tartessos and Portugal, and 1 for Spain. And then tourism, Portugal leads the way with 12, 8 for Suebi, 6 for Asturias, 6 for Aragon, 4 for Tartessos, 4 for Leon, 2 for Spain. So there we go. Now let's have a look. The religions. Most popular ones, 16 for Catholicism from Asturias and from Confucianism from Aragon. Then it is a bit of a 3-way tie for third, with Buddhism from Portugal in 9 cities, Tartessos, Eastern Orthodoxy in 8, and Madrid also with 8. Not Madrid, Spain with 8, with Hinduism. And then not doing so well is Islam from Suebi. Here we go, let's sort this beliefs. So Suebi's religion, they get 2 gold for each city following, 2 faith from quarries, and faster growth rate when not at war. Of course, they've been at war, so it doesn't really help. Hinduism, which is... whose religion is that? That is Spain. In 8 cities, they get stronger profits with less faith. They can buy pagodas for faith, culture. They can use faith to purchase great people, with some other permutations that we can't see. Culture for every 5 followers in other civs, I'm going to assume that says. +1 happiness in cities with 6 population. And shrines giving 1 faith. 1 happiness, in cities with 3 followers. So that's kind of good for Spain. Eastern Orthodoxy was the religion of Artesians. So they get faith from the desert. I think there's a few desert tiles down there, so that's good for them. Combat strength near friendly cities that follow the religion should help them defend a bit better. City-states, not too important. Production with a specialist can be useful. Mosques, faith, culture, and again, probably something else. And then they can build the universities, public schools, and research labs with faith. Sorry, I'm clearly not an expert. I'm guessing that might be what it says. Confucianism, which is Aragon, if I check. Yep, Aragon. 30% increase in city ranged combat strength. That's pretty good for them. Temples provide happiness. That's in cities with 5 followers. That's really useful because they have a lot of cities. World wonders provide 2 faith in the city. Okay, 1 gold for every 4 followers. I mean, that's going to help their economy a lot. Missionaries and inquisitors cost 30% less. They're going to be spreading a lot as well. Catholicism was the other big one in Asturias. And that gives gardens for 2 happiness. That's good. 2 any combat strength near enemy cities that follow this religion. So, yeah, that's really good. There's at least 10 cities or 9 cities on the map where that comes into play for them at the moment. Use faith to produce pre-industrial land units. That could be useful because they've not had the best time early on. Use faith for each foreign city, or extra faith the more they spread it. So yeah, that's going to sort of snowball upwards. And then food from camps is good as well. And finally Buddhism, which I think is the religion of Portugal. Yep, it is. They get 1 culture from plantations. They can use faith to purchase monasteries. They get 100 gold for each city they convert. All buildings purchased with faith will give 2 tourism. And then they can use faith to get cathedrals. So those cathedrals and monasteries will also give tourism. And then missionaries will be stronger as well. So that's all good news for them. And we will continue with Spain maybe going to lose a city here as they do make a peace deal with the Suebi. Oh no, sorry, that's Leon. I'm being silly. And Leon gave up a city. So not looking so good for Leon anymore. Although they do have 4 settlers I can see up and running. And so do Asturias. So we'll see where they end up going. But it looks like Aragon is going to attack the Asturians, who have no real defense for this city out here in the east. But yeah, there's 5 settlers in total. There's 1 here as well, and then 4 here, you can see, all heading for this territory. So that is going to put Aragon, definitely bring Aragon more into the game instead of leaving them out in the corner. But yeah, I expect this turn they will attack Asturias. But first, Portugal joins the war against the Artesians, which was maybe not as expected, but there we go. They've been pretty quiet here, Portugal, but I guess, yeah, they've heavily committed to trying to defend or take some stuff off Spain and left themselves maybe a little exposed as Aragon completes the Sistine Chapel. And it's actually kind of not declared this yet, so maybe they'll get away with it, the Asturians. They do have the Great Wall still, so they will get that bonus, but I don't think that will protect this city. By the time this one's fallen, maybe they'll be able to defend this one by playing it kind of awkward through the mountains, but I think Aragon might have been trying something else. Leon does put a city here, which will cut Spain off from this one, and they put another one here as well, so that leaves 2 of those settlers wandering around, and they're still more east. And then this Asturian settler going to go somewhere else, going to go on a little bit of an adventure, somewhere a bit more random and unexpected. There's another one out here actually. We'll see where that ends up. So we get a Leaning Tower of Pisa in Portugal, who are going to add another settler. City here as well from the Artesians. And there we go. Oh no, that's not the new one. There is a new one for Portugal, but there's going to be another new one very soon. Their original sort of ones being added to. Portugal being very, what is it, quality over quantity. They're picking the spots they want and organically and very slowly expanding into them. Which can work out, but it's always difficult to compete with a monster civ that we might see. Aragon, Spain could be in that bracket too if they get off to a continued good start. Suebi's kind of got to start fighting people now. They don't really have anywhere else to settle, so we'll see. Asturias did put down that settler. I'm not sure that's necessarily an ideal spot, but there we go. We should expect Leon to fill up a bit more of the space too, but Aragon is, yeah, they've just kind of backed off. Not really going for anything there. Nothing too crazy. Looks like these guys are, I know they're just healing, but it does look like they're still fighting when they shouldn't be. This city then, falling. It was just a small one in the corner with like 1 or 2 land tiles. But that falls to Portugal, so that's a good start. And maybe the rest of the Artesian Empire could be at risk. Obviously the 3 main cities are these southern 3. And if Spain start to commit some units too, that could end pretty badly for the Artesians. We'll see, but Spain doesn't look super committed just yet. Another Portuguese settler as well, so they are slowly adding some land to what they've got here. Spain's arrived at this city, and Portugal have got a few boats around this one. As Suebi declares war on Spain though. Are you okay? Yeah, that's for this city, I guess. That's a good move from Suebi. I don't think it will lead to much more, but yeah, that was a good move. Pretty smart. Spain can't really get over there to defend. So Asturias still adding cities. It's confusing because Artesians have cities that kind of on the mini map just sort of look the same. But no, they are different. I mean, Leon, Spain, is also pretty hard to tell apart on the mini-map. Another new city up there. There's Portugal's new city, and the one for Spain as well. So they're filling all of this territory, and Spain's probably going to get another one, which should sort of fill this area out, and then wars definitely going to have to start, although it obviously suits the civs in the middle, Spain, Leon, Asturias, because they can continue to push towards Aragon at their own risk, but they can. Leon with the Globe Theatre. It does look like Portugal could take the city here. La Joya. Asturias, the other one, under siege as well. We'll see. Maybe Spain and Portugal could come out of this looking very strong. Silk was not banned. City-states were embargoed, despite not existing. Oh, no, not yet for Portugal. Spain, yeah, now they got it surrounded. Now we should start to see some real progress. Leon did add another city all the way down here at some point. If enough civs kind of border Aragon, it makes their decision a lot harder. Because, you know, do you want to go after Leon? Do you want to go after Spain? Do you want to go after Asturias? The Artesians? Like, who are you going to go for? It's not an easy decision to make. How are you messing this up, Swaby? This should be easy. It's not going their way so far. They have a cannon, but not really close to the siege. That might help. And there is another Spanish city added to fill the gap that little bit more. How's it looking down here? Okay, so La Joya should fall to Portugal as Aragon grabs the Taj Mahal and enters the industrial era. It is turn 170. Don't be surprised. It's normal timing. Maybe a bit early, but for them probably okay. Here we go then. Ooh, Portugal's turn. Oh, not yet. Spain. There we go. They get the job done. Grabbing another city and some more territory for themselves. Aragon has definitely slowed down. I mean, they're definitely seeing their borders grow a lot, so it's not complete slowdown, but they haven't settled in a while. So Spain's growth is still important, for sure. And we'll see here if Portugal can get the job done. I don't think they actually have any melee units nearby at the moment, but soon you'd imagine they can get this pikeman around. Yeah, Aragon just sort of came over here looking all aggressive and then just separated. But there we go, this city falling to the Swaby, so that is a bit of a loss to Spain, but good gain as well for the Swaby. Is that the same Leon city? No, this is an even further south one, although Spain have also snuck one in next to the old Leon one up here. But yeah, Spain snuck that one in, but Leon just continuing to grab territory, so this is getting messier for anyone trying to unite the whole map, but this is a big war. Spain pieces out with Swaby, which brings that to an end, and now Swaby and Aragon will team up on Leon. I'm interested for this because Leon, well, this guy's dead, but yeah, Leon goes first, but they're going to have a big fight on their hands over here. I don't know how much Aragon will commit to this, but there we go. Portugal do sneak in, finally getting the job done. They grab the city there of La Joya. Bit more territory, and they weaken one of their neighbours while they're at it. Asturias heading all the way down to this small pass that will not exist for much longer, I'd imagine. It will eventually get cut off by borders. Again, probably not huge, mostly going to affect Aragon and someone trying to keep Aragon at bay in a war, potentially. It might be Spain or someone sort of, you know, defending in this region. As Artesians actually retake La Joya, but they'll probably lose it again. don't see them holding on to that for too long. More cities up here from Asturias. They're just not stopping. They're just churning out, getting. Well, everyone around you's fighting. Yeah, grab as much land as you can. That doesn't seem like a terrible idea. I mean, some of it is obviously going to be lost. Like, you're not going to hold this forever. Another Leon city towards Aragon. I mean, they're just kind of going to stretch Aragon out, which, if it worked, it could work. Spain do grab hold of this city that will eventually sort of become Gibraltar and the whole crossing, which which is good. And did they just peace out? No. Portugal's not retaken this yet. Maybe they're going to blow it. But that will be it for this episode as we reach turn 180. As always, if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new to the channel. And I'll see you in the next one.